Good morning, nature lovers. I'm Patrick Bohlen, the director of the UCF Arboretum, and I'm delighted to have you here today, the day before the kickoff of the fall semester, to give you a little brief tour of the UCF Arboretum Park area, which is just across from the Harris Engineering Building, and it's a beautiful little park and garden type area within the campus core that I wanted to show you about. Now, if you're familiar with this because you've been on campus for a long time, then it'll be familiar to you. You might learn some new things about it or take you places you haven't been. And if you're new to campus, particularly if you're new to campus, we're really excited to get you and encourage you to come over here and see what we've got going on. There's some wonderful places to walk and take tours and some really cool things to see. So we hope to see you soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to take you on a little tour. Okay, before I get started outside, I wanted to give you an overview of the entire campus and where this place I'm taking you fits into that overall picture. This entire map shows the entire campus, and campus, if you didn't know, is about half developed, maybe 600, 700 acres developed, and about 800, 900 if you count some things across the street, acres of some natural land, 300 and about 50 acres of which is in permanent conservation easement, wetland conservation. And then we have some wonderful upland areas where we're doing some restoration of Florida upland ecosystems native to the southeast. But right now, the place I'm going to take you is this 7-acre area, which is the old car. It's right inside the Gemini Loop where the Gemini cuts through the Arboretum. Here's parking garage C. This 7-acre area here was always kind of the core of the Arboretum, and we're doing some really cool things there. We have a master plan, so I want to show you what we're doing. This is the master plan of that region, which was done by Artistic Visions for us. They worked with us on this, donated some time to us, so we really appreciate that. So this is the 7-acre area that used to be the core. What we're doing, we're envisioning it. We're putting in trails. We've got a lot of these things are not existing. We want to put trees in. We planted this palm hammock, which I'll maybe show you when I'm out there. We want to do a little bridge across the creek. There's our community garden. We have the greenhouse. And then we've just got some wonderful things going on. This is a nursery that we'd like to have someday. So we got big dreams, big vision. I mean, come on, it's UCF. So let's get it. So let's head outside. Let's begin our brief tour just outside the Physical Sciences building in the southeast corner of that building, where we have this entrance, these bollards along the sidewalk. This is Apollo's Circle, and then you can go right into our greenhouse and garden area. So this is where we'll go next. I'll take you over to the pollinator gardens and walk you down to our community gardens. Here's our wonderful little greenhouse that we have, about a 1,000 square foot greenhouse. This is where we do a lot of propagating of plants for our garden and for our plant sales. Wonderful little spot and a wonderful facility. And I do want to point out that the greenhouse program and our various programs we're going to show you today, they're actually programs that are headed up by co-coordinators who are students. We actually pay student co-coordinators who manage interns and volunteers to get all the work done. And so we have 2 co-coordinators for this greenhouse. And then we also have, right next to the greenhouse, some pollinator gardens. And we are a Bee Campus USA, and these pollinator gardens are just part of what we need to do for that. So the pollinator gardens are here on the west side of the greenhouse. You can see we've got beautyberries already coming in, these beautiful berries, and a lot of really cool native and introduced horticultural varieties, mostly native, that are very supportive of native pollinator populations. Okay, now looking back at the greenhouse, if I turn this way and come around, I see basically there's the community garden. Downhill, it's down kind of in the wetland. I want to show you this wonderful stuff we're bringing in. Here's this mulch that was mulched from trees that we had to take down on campus and placed here by one of our contractors, beautiful. And then this, from Quality Greens into land, this beautiful custom compost that is really going to add some great fertility to our garden. So if you come down the hill, you will note that the garden has probably the best deer fence in the state of Florida. Barry Lardner built it, a local jack of all trades, if not the known universe. This is just a great deer fence that he built for us that we need to protect crops from the deer. So let's go inside. Okay, in the garden we have blueberries planted in pots. Down the west side we've got a section of raised garden beds. We're just starting to prepare these for the fall planting, so they're actually in a preparatory phase. Then we have more of a farmed area that we grow more crops at a field scale. This is the area that's going to get the compost. Now we have the plastic out. That's called solarization. It heats the soil up over time. You leave the plastic sheets on for about 4 to 6 weeks, and it kills the majority of the pests and even weed seeds in the soil. So we're about to take those off. It is wet down here. We've got this great stand of sugar cane. Okay, it's too much, but there it is, great stand of sugar cane. And then this is the corner where we have our bananas and our figs. There's our bananas, here's some figs. Got some wonderful fruit on the figs right now. Now coming back up from the greenhouse this way, you'll come around this beautiful blue saw palmetto. The trail doesn't come here, but you can walk here. It's mowed through here, and if you come through, there's the palm hammock. You'll see this drainage pipe. I want to point something out here. This drainage pipe is a big drainage pipe that drains probably about 60% of the core of campus. It's the old pipe that, you know, basically drains the Milliken Hall area. And it had a ditch that came out of it. My predecessor worked a little bit on this, but really over the past 10 years, we've really done a great job restoring this ditch to make it more like a natural stream. We've planted native plants like this beautiful leather fern, this native leather fern. This thing's about 8 feet tall, and other natives down the line. Just beautiful. We've got to plant a lot of these cypress trees in here. And then also what I wanted to point out is out of this pipe every night stream like 5,000 bats that have nested and roosted up in this pipe as an important cave area for them for probably decades. So that's a really cool little area. Now I'm going to head down this new trail area. We put in these mulch trails this year. We're kind of still playing around with what the final trails will be, and mulch is an easy way to get started. We create a lot of mulch because we cut trees down. So we planted some cool trees along here like the native winged elm. We got the Asian sawtooth oak, but most of what we have down here is native. I see live oaks, I see red maples, I see some magnolias down there, and we have further red maples and winged elms. So there's a lot of really great quality plant material. These trees came from Cherry Lake Tree Farm. They produce some really quality material. I have to say, we get nothing but high quality from Cherry Lake Tree Farm, but that's what most of this planting is down here. And then over here, we planted a palm hammock. We actually built this hammock so that the palms are spaced perfectly for hanging a hammock. So if you want to come hang out on the hammock, you can come over to the palm hammock, and when those heads get full, they're going to be beautiful. And you can come out and you can actually hang your hammocks here. Of course, proper social distancing is necessary, but you can still come out and enjoy this area on your free time. Okay, now we've come around the other side on this trail, and you can see across the ditch, that little ditch that we're restoring, we see the community garden. So we had to loop around to the other side. One thing I wanted to show you on the back side of the community garden, I am going off the mulch path for a second here. We have honeybees here. We have 4 hives over here in the main apiary. And this is a wonderful little bee yard. We use this to teach a class in honeybee biology and beekeeping. You can see the bees are very active on the front of the hives. So those are over there. Please keep your distance from those unless you get a specially guided tour into those. They are generally gentle bees, but let's leave them alone. Now I'm going to head over this way, and we'll head back down the trail around to the boardwalk and the Whittier's Walk gardens that we planted in honor of Hank Whittier, the first director of the Arboretum. Okay, here's the sign for Whittier's Walk, a beautiful sign the local artist helped us create. And this is near the entrance to the walk, his trail that he had through the woods, and he built a boardwalk down here. What we did in his honor, and this was again student co-coordinators who are our urban horticulture team, they helped design this garden with the landscape architect, and we encouraged them to try new things. So they tried some things that failed, and they're trying new things just to see what will work in this very unusual wet, sunny, and mixed shade area. But here's these beautiful, beautiful gingers, and Hank had some of those down here. And then you've got the bird of paradise in the middle. So a lot of these are not native. We planted a little bit. Here's some natives over here, the lizard's tail. Okay, then we've got these other great gingers. We've got these 7-foot, look at these 7-foot tall Heliconius. They're just incredible. This is the first time we've tried these. Look how big those flowers are. So this is a little garden we did. Here's these heart-stopping red button gingers. Heart-stopping. And we have the irises there. Those aren't the native ones, but the things that will do well down here. It's a mixture of introduced and native. And then we're going to go into the native woods. I need to show you some of Hank's original plantings. Here's this blue ginger. It's actually not a ginger. It's in the Tradescantia genus. I think it's in the Wandering Jew family. And then we've got these other beautiful spiral gingers. These are the big ones. The big ones. That's at the entrance. You come and you see a split leaf philodendron. And all these things are things that Hank Whittier, the original director, put down here. Thanks to Brent Salisbury for fixing our little crossing here. Got some native shrubs. And you come down, and here we're coming over to the entrance of the boardwalk. And right next to the entrance, we'll see one of his signature species that he brought in here and that we're still trying to work with and propagate through here. And this is the native palm, needle palm, beautiful, cool native palm that's got these little needles at the base. I'm not going to show you right now, but really sharp little needles, but it's a beautiful little native palm. And then the boardwalk comes in and it cuts through this little section of woods. Now, Gemini Boulevard is right there, so you're not quite out in the woods, but you feel like you are. It's cooler. We do allow for a little self-expression down here. We've got students who paint all kinds of things, quotes, or just things like that on the side of the boardwalk, and they really do a great job, and it really kind of beautifies the trail and makes it very human, don't you think? Look at this. I love you, Darby. The things I love about the woods is you sometimes come across some big swallowtails that love some of these habitats, these kind of shaded wood habitats. This eastern swallowtail, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to be able to get a shot of it because they're so elusive. Sometimes you can get a good shot, but this one's staying just out of view. There it goes. There it goes, flying away. But anyway, those are very often here. We're coming out the trail on this side, but it's still got some wonderful natives and other beautiful habitat there. Now we have the new cell tower. Some people were upset that they put the new cell tower up, but you know, we've accommodated and we've got some beautiful native plantings around here. You see the sea grapes on that side. These are all Simpson stoppers on this, which is just going to be an incredible little forest of those native trees. And then you got some firebush in the middle and some other things. So now we're coming up on the back side of the Arboretum. Look at the size of that bee. Look at the banding on the abdomen. Look at that bee. I think it's Pennsylvanicus, but I'm gonna have to look that one up. Anyway, folks, I've gone off trail again. You know I love to go off trail, especially when I see a beautiful plant like this. Particularly Firebush is a great plant, Hamelia patens. It is a native plant, but it comes in a lot of different varieties. It gets too big for people's yards sometime and they get frustrated with it, but you put it down in a natural area like this, look at that. And the beauty of it is it's got these beautiful red flowers, right? It's got a good shape. It's also very good for pollinators. Now, not all pollinators, but bumblebees in particular. I just saw 3 different bumblebee species in there, and I also saw the carpenter bees, other big-bodied bees. They love these flowers. So that's Firebush. In a more natural setting, it does really well. And then we're going to head back up this way to the Arboretum trailer. This is the only Heliconia butterfly in Florida, a native, zebra longwing. Many of you know this beautiful butterfly. It loves to float around down in the trees here. Absolutely wonderful. But I want to take over this area. This is an old ditch that we cleared. Ray Jarrett has planted a bunch of native plants there. Another trail does come out there, so we're going to mulch this trail as well. It's not mulched right now, but you come up against this bamboo collection. Hank Whittier did start this at the north end. I've kind of built it down a little bit further. But this is the Asian lemon bamboo, which is really wonderful bamboo. Look at the stalks of this thing. We're going to clean up the stalks so you can see them because they're so beautiful. They're yellow with green stripes. Then we have Bambusa emiensis, which is like yellow stripes on green. And the beauty of that one is it's just got a great, look at that. Look at the habit of it, just the way it has these big sprawling leaves that dangle and hang. And it's pretty easy to control as a bunch. It doesn't really spread that bad and it's easy to control. So that's a wonderful bamboo. And then we have what I think is the blue bamboo. Those bamboos really like it down there where it's wet in this drainage swale. At this north end, I think some of them aren't doing well because it's a little drier. Although these are coming in a little bit this year. We've started to give them a little bit to support their growth. But look at these Beautybellies. Now these were always told, I was always told these were sensitive to the cold, but we haven't had any trouble with them, even during a couple of soft freezes anyway. And they're called Beautybellies because the internodes on the canes have this kind of swollen bulbous area on the canes here. And that's why they're called Beautybelly bamboo. But anyway, they seem to do really well in the drought, and what they do so beautifully here is kind of frame the entrance of that part of the trail. They just do that beautifully. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of our Arboretum Park and Gardens area. Please come out and go on some trail hikes when you're on campus. If you're on campus, make sure you practice proper social distancing etiquette while you're doing so. But it's really a good time to get out and enjoy some of this beautiful area. It's really here for you. It's here for you. So come enjoy it, take a break from things that are stressing you out, and you might actually see something that really moves you.